I think it very clearly says that our review shows results consistent with the superintendent's memo dated November 16, 2009. And it talks about the variances that were spread across various expenditure categories. Bottom line, revenues were up slightly, $469,000. Expenditures were down significantly for the reasons Dr. Kerr stated in a memo. There were serious cost-cutting measures taken because of the economy, and because using the fund balance that we had to finish off the Lennon project. Those were all, and it's clear that that's what they reviewed. So I'm not sure what job didn't they do.
Well, I was just going to say, we saw the explanation that came from administration, but to me it still did not say how that could happen. It wasn't one mistake. It was quite a few different mistakes, money put in different accounts. And we need to find out exactly how it happened so we can prevent it in the future. That's all that I've said from the beginning, and that's what I still stand there, that we need to make sure this never happens again.
Well, furthermore, their report, which we're supposed to pay for, says additionally the district's financial management has been in continuous transition for the past 3 years. The financial management of the district was not in transition for the 3 years. Dale Kirsch was here all those years. There was no break in the transition. That statement's wrong. And furthermore, when you say the bottom line to me is this report says the district's prudent financial management needs to continue. How can you say that? We didn't know we had the $4 million. How can you be prudent have prudent financial management if you didn't know we had $4 million?
One last question. When do you know for sure the ending fund balance? Because in June, you're still estimating at that point at the end of June, correct? Correct. When do you positively know the ending fund balance?
I would say when it starts to be September to October.
October is when the $4 million was identified.
Right, because that's when you start to do you usually start your audit middle September, beginning of October, depending on the time frame with the independent auditors. It all depends on when they can schedule you to. Once they start, then they start coming in and they start testing their books.
And this was identified end of October, towards the end?
Yes, somewhere towards the end.
Okay. So not that far off of a normal discovery of what our actual fund balance is going to be. Right? Right.
Right.
8 million of taxes.
But wait a minute, the fund balance that you would have found in October would have been from the budget we passed in June, correct?
No, it would have been the one you passed the year before.
The year before. So I just want to understand what Mr. Choncek just said was that you said we would normally find out the true fund balance by October. You're talking the fund balance from a year and a half earlier in October?
No. When this year ends, when our June 30th, 2010 year ends,
right.
What will happen, as you know, the budget's done prior to the fiscal year, this fiscal year being recorded totally. What will happen with this fund balance, as you know, our beginning fund balance was $1,299,000 in this budget for 09-010.
Right.
And it has a balanced budget. That means if we spend every dollar and we receive every revenue exactly how that's stated in there, we will end up with an ending fund balance. Okay. So.
Well, I guess my point is because the $4 million came from the 2008-2009 budget, correct?
Correct.
And then you found it, we had voted on the 2009-2010 budget in June.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I mean whenever you're saying that you found a true fund balance in October. Is that normally for the budget you just passed or is it from the year before?
The previous budget.
Okay, that's what I was trying to do. Okay.
No nobody's arguing the point that the AFR that's due in October is going to have some adjustments to be made from the budget that's passed on June 30th, okay? However, for a management team in a period of just 3 months plus, not to see $4 million, to be sitting here and asking the board to pass something as late as June 30th, and 3 months later come up with $4 million, that's incomprehensible. I can't understand it.
I would like to make one comment. I think the memo from November of '09 speaks for itself. This report validates that. But you could read in the Indiana Gazette an article that was just a few months ago when Indiana area school district was going through the same type of review. And almost word for word, there was an explanation why their fund balance had a 57% increase, higher than expected. And for the very same reasons. We did have some good fortune in terms of state reimbursements. Earned income tax was up, real estate tax was up, and even Indiana School District couldn't really state why, especially during a time of recession. So we were in transition. We had an interim business manager. Regular business manager was leaving. And I think the bottom line is that this report speaks for itself. I don't believe it's incomplete. I think it does validate the period that we went through. I think we need to move on because we have much work to do in the district. These funds certainly will aid the work that we need at the classroom level with highly effective teachers, the resources that they need in terms of technology and instructional materials. So I think it's a good thing for the district.
The scenario that you cited in earlier emails comparing our district to Indiana, the business manager at Indiana now, during the last couple months, has announced that their ending fund balance will be higher for this coming June, okay? We're talking about something completely different here. He's doing his job now, stating that he already knows the ending fund balance is going to be higher in the Indiana School District. We didn't find out. It would be like they know now what their ending fund balance is going to be approximately, according to that article. If we made the same error again, it would be like us not finding out until October, November. There's a big difference. You already passed the budget for next year. In our case, Indiana didn't pass their budget for next year. They already know. So that's apples and oranges.
I don't know whether you're talking about two different articles, maybe the one I'm familiar with, but it's the same time frame that this happened to us just past October last year. Indiana issued the same similar thing. They had experienced the same thing with their budget, and so I don't know if there was a follow-up article or not, but I know in the same budget year as ours, they had an increase in their projected fund balance also.
Correct me if I'm wrong, the article that
Well,
Dr.
They had all we went through.
No, we're going to be factual here.
You know, there was another report that didn't end up the way you wanted it to, and so we're going to try to do another one or direct somebody to do something else. I think two of the key things on this whole report that you need to really, everybody get their mind around is budgeted amounts, which are estimates, versus actual. And at the time when Mr. Brandenburg indicated that we normally go through the process, the estimates of revenues and expenditures vary from the actual amounts that we spend, thus an increase. And it can happen the opposite way. You're hopeful that it doesn't. You budget, there's nobody going to budget under the amount. You budget so that your budget gains money, fund balance at the end, not loses it. There's no business manager going to under budget and fall short. So I hope we can put this behind us and move on here. We spent $4,000 on this. We're going to have to pay, and I'm sorry if we don't like the results, but that's the way it is.
Well,
that's $4 million extra to pay the $4,000, I guess.
First of all, it may not be 4,000, but like I said, the report's incomplete.
In your opinion, it's incomplete.
Well,
Okay, we're not going to argue over this.
Right, and
We're-
please move on.